Qiao Wanyan recuperated at Shanglin hunting ground for a while longer before hearing news that the imperial convoy was returning to the capital. Early on the morning of their departure, she spotted a familiar yet unfamiliar figure in a breezeway of the imperial villa. This was the place where she'd first seen Shen Che. Just one distant glance made her skin crawl, though less terrifying than the last encounter. She met his gaze calmly and even walked toward him with apparent interest. Qiao Wanyan hated him to the core. If not for him, she wouldn't have fainted in the forest, fallen into an assassin's trap, or been used as bait to attract the crown prince, resulting in her injury. She even wondered if stealing Qiao Yihuan's destiny meant absorbing her misfortunes too. What a despicable man, handsome but heartless. She stopped half a zang away, too close for comfort, given her lingering fear of this skin-peeling madman. No one she'd ever met played such horrific games. Her lips curved into a radiant smile, as warm as spring and as beautiful as a painting. But her words were anything but gentle, laced with bitterness. So the heir isn't dead? Shen Che was silent. He'd witnessed her temperament in the forest, but the reunion still led him to survive to second Mrs. Disappointment. Qiao Wanyan clicked her tongue. Great lie. Disappointed. Hope you won. Let me down next time. After another long silence, Shen Che nodded. All right. The attendants beside them blinked. Was this even a normal conversation? The heir will stay in the capital for a while, so we'll have plenty of chances to meet next time. I hope you ray not well. She turned and left. Watching her go, Shen Che murmured after a pause. She really hates me. Su Fei wanted to retort, my lord. You drugged her and got outwitted. Of course she hates you. She knows what you planned to do with her. How could she not be afraid? Now a hostage. Shen Che was fair game for her mockery. Su Fei sighed inwardly at the mess. Qiao Yihuan was sent back to the capital early by Minister Qiao. Not to the minister's mansion but directly to the estate where Wu Shi had once lived. No servants were assigned, leaving only her and Haoing in the vast, desolate yard. Yihuan, what are you doing here? Liu Yanren asked, shocked to find Qiao Yihuan in the courtyard while visiting with gifts. Yihuan should be at Shanglin hunting ground, deepening her bond with the crown prince, having Yunheng detoxify him, and winning the Empress's approval like the novel said. Qiao Yihuan looked listless, her spirit drained, staring blankly like a walking corpse. The recent blow had left her sleepless for days, gaunt and haggard. What's wrong? You've lost so much weight and look awful. Liu Yanran was confused. Since entering the palace, she'd been treated well as the 10th princess associate, quickly becoming a favored servant. But Yi Huan's situation didn't match the novel. Qiao Yihuan asked dully, why are you here? Liu Yanran held up pastries. It's my day off. My family sin Yongju, so I came to visit Aunt Wu. She stayed in the palace on previous days, fearing encounters with Qiao Wanyan. Only knowing Wanyan was at Shanglin hunting ground had she dared to leave. Qiao Yihuan laughed bitterly, her eyes red. Liu Yanran pressed. What happened? Haoing explained, Aunt Wu is gone. Liu Yanran was stunned. Gone? But Aunt Wu is supposed to survive until Yihuan becomes empress, then get exiled for causing trouble, not die now. How did she die? Haoing glanced at Qiao Yihuan. The master. He killed her and ordered silence. Overflowing with pity, she spilled everything about Shanglin hunting ground, leaving Liu Yanran speechless. How could this be? What did Qiao Wanyan do? She'd suspected at Pharmacist Valley, but now wondered, had the novel as characters gained free will? She'd read about self-aware fictional characters. Could Qiao Wanyan? A kill ran down her spine. Wanyan was ruthless. If she triumphed, Liu Yanran would meet a bad end. Her only choice was to help Yihuan. Grasping Yihuan's hand, she said, I can help you, but you must be brave. Qiao Yihuan's face flickered with hope. Remember I said you were the fated heroine. Protected by heaven? You can tie even if ist a bb at your heart. You'd survive. Yuhwan was confused. Can't die? She recalled Zelon trying to strangle her, only for her to faint mysteriously. The imperial physician found nothing. Was heaven protecting me? What should I do? Liu Yanren declared. Commit suicide. Throw yourself off a cliff. Kia Wanyan's arm wound had scabbed over, fading into a faint scar thanks to Yunheng's medicine. Siuan peeled grapes onto a plate. Miss, it looks like rain. Wanyan ate a grape with a fork, its sweet juice bursting in her mouth. She opened the window to overcast skies. Soon fine rain fell steadily. The imperial exam is approaching. Ceylon was surprised their branch had no brothers taking the exam. The branch's second son was participating, but Wanyan barely knew him. I heard His Highness the Crown Prince will preside over the exam with the Ministry of Rights. Wonder who will be the top candidate. Wanyan stayed silent. Zhu Shujian, father's favored disciple, he aced every exam. From county to palace level, his painting of her reclining was still hung in Yangning Pavilion. As rain poured, ministers arrived at the city gate to kneel before the imperial carriage. Wanyan would have alighted, but Jing Yuan informed her she could stay, sparing her from the downpour. Long after the carriage entered, ministers and families returned home. Minister Kiao was met by a servant whispering in his ear. He told his wife and Wanyan to rest while he went to his study. Locking the door, he strode behind a screen to find Zhu Shujian, standing before a portrait of Kiao Wanyan, smiling with peach blossoms, radiant as a flower fairy. Welcome back. Minister, you must be tired. Zhu Shujian's voice was cool, his snow-cleared face calm. Gone was the minister's usual warmth. His face was frosty, his aura imposing. You owe me an explanation. You promised this plan would end Tharm Wanyan, but without the pharmacist valley doctor, she'd be dead. Zhu Shujian was unfazed. I'll account for it. He twisted a vase, revealing a secret passage. Minister Kiao followed him into the study hidden chamber, lit by night pearls. Amin with severed tendons knelt the assassin leader from Shanglin hunting ground who duzed Wanyan as bait. My subordinates overstepped his life for your peace of mind. Our goal is to let this filth end our cooperation. Minister Kiao looked down on the man. I'd mend my family stay out of future matters, or our alliance ends permanently. Zhu Shujian smiled. As you wish. Everything unfolded as you predicted. Soon, Xiling will send the hostage back with Prince Jing. Every move is Ray hears at 1,000 times to eliminate flaws. The plan proceeds. Next steps are in motion. They ignored the kneeling man, treating him as good as dead. After Zhu Shujian left, Minister Kiao stabbed the assassin, twisting the blade to mash his heart. Then Calm Lai wiped blood from his hands and face. Leaving Zhu Shujian met Zelon. Master Zhu, here for the minister? He nodded, to return borrowed books. But he seems busy so I'll go. Ziyuan agreed she'd seen the servant summoning the minister. I'll walk you out. I need to run an errand. Where to? Yu Ming Tower's new osmanthus cheese. Miss will want it when she wakes. Second Miss likes osmanthus sweets. Ziyuan smiled. You're right. Every October, the mansion smells of osmanthus. Zhu Shujian said. She sent me stationery. Let me buy the cheeses, thanks. Would you allow it? Ziyuan hesitated. Wanyan had gifted the stationery for his painting. Zhu Shujian looked earnest. And she craved Yu Ming Tower's pork knuckle. Why not send a servant? But she couldn't refuse. All right. Wanyan woke in the afternoon as a maid massaged her calves. Ziyuan entered, barely containing gossip. Guess what's happening in the capital? Wanyan didn't look up. What? Ziyuan crouched by her feet. Pingyang Earl's sixth son was castrated. Wanyan raised an eyebrow. Castrated how? Missing limbs? Rendered infertile? Wanyan whistled. Perfect. For palace service then. Ziyuan laughed. Whoever did this is a hero. He had 50 concubines, all sent away. Concubine Shu threw a fit, begging the emperor to investigate, but he scolded her instead. Sima Yu was la Charus, repelling noble brides. Concubine Shu had tried matching Wanyan to him, even seeking an imperial edict. Disgusting. Now she couldn't meddle, Wanyan said. He deserved it. Concubine Shu has no sense. Why would the emperor care about this? But who had the guts to cripple a nobleman in the capital? The ruthlessness was intriguing. Xilan huffed. Yes, that sixth son both read you too. He got what he deserved. Wanyan smiled at her indignation. Fetch that osmanthus cheese from Yuming Tower. Master Zhu offered to buy it as thanks for the stationery. Wanyan adjusted her hair. He's doubtful. Shall we receive him when he comes? She shook her head. My time's too precious. Shen Che was lodged in the former Zen King Marquis Manor, confiscated after the family's execution, unsuitable for a hostage. It was the only option next door to the Minister of Revenue's mansion. Gazing at the cracked, unrepaired wall separating them, Shen Che's starry eyes blinked. The old emperor picked an interesting place. Master, rest after your journey. The main bedroom is ready. Let me escort you. Shen Che paused. We brought Xiling specialties. As neighbors and friends, I should visit second Miss Kiao. Su Fei thought. Since when are they friends? Shen Che turned. What are you waiting for? Prepare the gifts. Nodding, Su Fei left. Shen Che stood still, watching the wall-like statue until a sparrow landed on his shoulder. When Su Fei returned, he slowly departed. In the carriage, Shen Che said, being a hostage sucks. 4 spies watched me stare at a wall. Su Fei braced for an order to kill them, but none came. Endure for now. Master, we don't to know who sent them. Killing them could invite trouble. Shen Che rubbed Axe's piece on the board from his journey. He placed a black stone. Kill them all. Master, but we have allies in the capital. That's what they ray for. He added, I hate being watched. At the Kiao mansion, Shen Che saw a man in a green robe, tall, jade-faced, exuding cool mystery. Su Fei announced, His Highness the Xiling heir, to visit second Miss Kiao. A servant eyed Shen Che and his boxes. Xiling heir? Yes, recently arrived. The servant understood this was the hostage everyone talked about. Wait here. I'll announce you. Silence fell between Shen Che, Zhu Shujian, and their men. What's in the box? Shen Che asked about Zhu Shujian's package. Cheese. For whom? Second Miss. Shen Che's obsidian eyes darkened. What's our relationship? Unspeakable. Shen Che frowned. You look short-lived. Zhu Shujian looked inside. So do you? Shen Che found him as irritating as ever. When the servant returned, he blocked Shen Che's path. Second Miss is busy. Your Highness. She'll visit later to apologize. Shen Che was confused. Why refuse him? Disappointment followed. Zhu Shujian asked, Is that really what she said? The servant lied, of course. He couldn't admit Wanyan had said, Tell him to scram. Zhu Shujian didn't believe it. Shen Che stayed, eager to see Zhu Shujian rebuffed too. But Zhu Shujian walked confidently toward Yangning Pavilion until the servant blocked him. Master Zhu, Miss said to leave the cheese with me. Zhu Shujian's smile didn't waver as he handed over the box. Thank you. He left without a word, ignoring Shen Che. Shen Che gestured to his gifts. Since she took the cheese, keep these too. He departed. The servant rushed to Yangning Pavilion with the boxes. Xiuan tested the cheese with a silver needle before serving it. Wanyan smiled in satisfaction. Delicious. Get another for Sun Tian and ask if she can replicate it. Xiuan noticed the lingering servant. What else? He stammered. The Xiling heir left gifts at the gate. Return them or keep them. Wanyan frowned. A weasel bringing New Year gifts. Throw them out, they ray bad luck. News of the discarded gifts reached Shen Che and the emperor. Grinding ink, Su Hao said. The Xiling heir seems interested in second Miss Kiao. The emperor sipped tea. She's stunning and really exactly the novelty that attracts noble youths jaded by luxury. Su Hao laughed like Prince Jing, who got injured but can't hate her. The emperor's gaze turned sharp. Are you mocking my son? Su Hao knelt. I dare not. The emperor chuckled. He is a fool in love, a hopeless romantic. But was the heir interested in Wanyan or Minister Qiao? Time would tell. 5 years ago, the minister's disciple had learned of surviving former dynasty royalty in Xiling. Without that bloodline, rebels were harmless, but its existence posed a threat. Xiling's long peace had given no excuse for war, but the Shanglin hunting ground assassination let the crown prince blame Xiling, forcing them to hand over the hostage to avoid conflict. Now, the emperor needed to confirm Minister Qiao's ties to Xiling and the descendants of the previous dynasty's truth. The emperor set down his teacup. The former dynasty empress was Xiling princess, making Xiling a likely refuge. He had to be cautious. An attendant announced, Crown Prince requests an audience. Admit him. He entered. Father, I was just discussing the Xiling heir. The emperor smiled, choosing between a irrelevant the former dynasty remnant and their own prince. Which will Xiling choose? He was shocked. Xiling's prince? Guess. The emperor smiled, leaving He Ziyu to understand. Su Hao knew the answer too for Xiling's emperor. The choice was clear. The old emperor of Xiling had a meager fortune and a sparse offspring, with only 2 sons. The eldest son, Prince Xin, was ignorant and stupid, easily influenced by slander, and eventually fell into a trap of conspiracy due to this flaw, meeting his death at the hands of the old emperor. It was a father's reluctant act of killing his son. The second son, Prince Rui, was somewhat better than his elder brother, but he indulged in beauty and excessive lust, resulting in a body even weaker than that of the old emperor. The concubines in his backyard were in constant turmoil, yet he turned a blind eye. From time to time, the bodies of concubines were carried out through the back door, making the old emperor furious but dare not truly punish him. As the only remaining son, he had to be well kept despite his incompetence. However, everything slowly changed 18 years ago, when Princess Rui gave birth to the first son of the Rui Palace. The eldest grandson was passed over his father and crowned as the crown prince at the age of 10. The day before this 10-year-old crown prince was conferred the title. He killed his father and the side concubine, and peeled off the side concubine's skin to drape over Prince Rui's body. Rumors spread, but no one knew the exact reason for that year's incident. The old emperor of Xiling, having only this one bloodline, naturally was reluctant to let him die in Deu. After all, he had been crowned as the crown prince, even after the act of patricide. This time, the remnants of the former dynasty would surely be sent out by the old emperor. The emperor said, You have done this matter well, but I can publicly commend you. After the matter of the former dynasty remnants is resolved, I will assign the western suburb camp to your management. He Ziyu immediately lay down. Your son thanks the father emperor. Get up. The empress mentioned your marriage to me not long ago. Do you have any thoughts now? I'm not an old-fashioned person. If you have someone you like, I will prioritize your wish. The emperor asked about family matters meaningfully, just like an ordinary father worrying about his son's marriage. But He Ziyu knew clearly that he must not act recklessly. Even so, however, the person he wanted to marry, your son, He Ziyu was at a loss for words. The emperor said, You have told me many times that you will marry no one but the eldest daughter of the Qiao family, even at the cost of giving up everything, which has become well known in the city. Now that the eldest daughter of the Qiao family is in a predicament with public opinion, if you marry her you will marry a joke. If you don't, your previous oath will also become a joke. In any case, he was caught in a dilemma because of a woman. He Ziyu suddenly fell silent, not saying a word for a long time. His mind went blank. and the next moment, he recalled the scene of first meeting Qiao Yihuan. She was pure, beautiful, and carried an untouched purity. The first time he saw her was on a long street. She stood in front of a little beggar who had risked stealing buns out of hunger, preventing the stall owner from continuing to beat the beggar. After paying for all the buns and giving them to the little beggar, she distributed the remaining buns to those poor people who couldn't afford to eat. At that moment, he had the urge to get to know her. Later, when they met again by chance at a banquet, she was squeezed out and isolated by those noble ladies, just like himself in childhood, doing everything alone, without friends or family love. He swore at that time to make her the most honorable woman in Deu, to care for and love her well. He used to think so and was making efforts for it, making it well known in the city and leaving no way back. This time, a palace maid entered and reported respectfully, "Your Majesty, the Grand Tutor requests an audience." The Emperor said lightly, "You go out first." He stood up, took 2 steps back and turned to leave. On the day of the metropolitan examination, the whole city was looking forward to who would be the top candidate this year. The metropolitan examination was held in 3 sessions, with each session 3 days apart, entering one day in advance and exiting the next day. Before entering, body searches and door blockades were carried out to ensure fairness and justice, preventing cheating. This year's metropolitan examination was hosted by the Crown Prince with the assistance of the Ministry of Rights, so it was more rigorous than usual. A solemn atmosphere pervaded, and all candidates began to feel nervous. March 15th was the 3rd session of the metropolitan examination. The Minister of Rights walked to the Crown Prince's side and presented the roster of the relatively excellent candidates from the first 2 sessions. Ziyu flipped through it and saw the name Zhu Shujian on the last page. His family had some reputation earlier years but gradually declined. Later, he achieved excellent results in the county exam and provincial exam, which could be regarded as a case of a noble rising from a humble background. The Minister of Rights said, "This Zhu Shujian is really remarkable, performing well in the first 2 exams. His poems are but not flashy, ornate but not gaudy, with profound artistic conception and beautiful rhythm, quoting classics and being free-flowing, which even the Imperial College Chancellor or can't help but praise." He didn't speak, just took a few more looks at Zhu Shujian's information. The Minister of Rights had been an official for many years. In recent years, the Crown Prince had never participated in the imperial examination, but this year he participated in the metropolitan examination, and he had privately speculated about it. Now that Prince Jing had returned to the capital and held military power, he was not inferior to the Crown Prince of the Eastern Palace. It was still uncertain who would finally sit on the throne of the Son of Heaven. Looking at the whole 9 prefectures, I'm afraid no one can fathom the Emperor's intention. Now that the Crown Prince was presiding over the metropolitan examination, he guessed that he should want to select several good candidates from the metropolitan examination to support Secret Lie and cultivate them as his own advisors and assistants in the court in the future. Zhu Shujian was the best among the candidates and most likely to catch the crown. Prince say it was no big deal for him to recommend him on behalf. He closed the roster and said, "Take me to see these candidates." The Minister of Rights nodded in response and led the Crown Prince to go one by one according to the order in the roster. The first 9 candidates were nervous when they saw the Crown Prince in a python robe, not daring to breathe loudly, although they had seen many officials presiding over the metropolitan examination. After entering the capital, it was the first time they had seen the Crown Prince. Although young, even about the same age as some candidates, his aura was so strong that people didn't dare to look him in the eye. But when they came to the last candidate on the roster, The Minister of Rights clearly saw that. Although Zhu Shujian was a little surprised, he was not as flustered and nervous as the previous candidates. He just took a look, nodded to salute, and then continued to do the questions. His stable emotion made him secretly praise. Such youth and calmness would surely make great achievements in the future. This year's top scholar was most likely to be him. His gaze gradually moved down to his paper, and out of the corner of his eye, he swept the pen in his hand and felt it seemed familiar. Looking at the ink stone in the upper left corner, his expression that had just been calm suddenly became frosty. This set of inkstone, he recognized, was the treasure of Mobile Bookstore. Zhu Shujian was still bowing his head writing, but he clearly felt a sharp and gloomy gaze fall on him. This isn't the words that came to his mouth were forcefully swallowed back. Jing Yuan took a look at His Highness' face and immediately held back. Isn't this the treasure of Mobile Bookstore? Last time, when His Highness happened to see the second miss coming out of Mobile Book Store upstairs in the tea house, he summoned the bookstore manager and learned what the second miss had bought. At that time, he vowed that this set of study treasures must have been given to His Highness by the second miss, and only His Highness knew that the second miss was even so attentive to everyone. But now, the course of events was not going as he had said at all. Jing Yuan looked back at Zhu Shujian. Why did the second miss give such precious things to a poor scholar? The Minister of Rights also saw that the Crown Prince's face was not good, almost unable to suppress the anger in his heart, and his face was very dark. He had been an official for many years, and his years of being an official were older than the Crown Prince's age. Naturally, he could see that it was not the time to step forward and ask for trouble, so he simply slowed down and maintained a safe distance. If the Crown Prince had something to instruct, he could also know and go over quickly, but at the moment, he didn't go over. Jing Yuan said, Your Highness, don't be angry. Zhu Shujian is a student of Minister Qiao. Maybe Minister Qiao valued Zhu Shujian and asked the second miss to buy it on his behalf. But when he said this, Jing Yuan himself didn't believe it. How much did Minister Qiao dote on the second miss? How could he let the second miss do such a thing? There were so many servants in the minister's mansion. How could the second miss be needed? He's Yushin holding the roster. Unconscious lie exerted force. His fingertips turned blue and white, and the paper appeared wrinkled. Why should I be angry? He turned to look at him. Jing Yuan quickly said, Yes, Your Highness, and the second miss don't have any substantive relationship, just the relationship between the Crown Prince and the daughter of a minister. I have talked too much. Please forgive me, Your Highness. After saying this, Jing Yuan carefully looked at His Highness' face, but it still didn't calm down, and the heart hanging in his heart jumped to his throat even more. He put the roster in his hand on the table. The roster that should have been smooth and complete was like having experienced the baptism of a storm. He stood there quietly, his eyes dark as if covered by a thick layer of ink, deep and bottomless. After a long time, he said in a deep voice, I'm not angry. What does it have to do with him who Qiao Wanyan likes, who she gives things to, and who she will marry in the future? Jing Yuan was silent for a long time and then asked carefully, Your Highness, what about Zhu Shujian? He let out a long breath. How can I be such a villain? If he has talent and becomes a scholar or even a top 3, it's also his ability. It would be beneath his dignity to attack a powerless, poor scholar. What's more, attacking such a person would really lower his grade. Zhu Shujian simply couldn't catch his eye at all. Just like it never feels uneasy to guard against a small dog. This day, the sky was clear and the wind was mild. A very good day. Minister Qiao took Jin Shi and Qiao Wanyan back to the ancestral house where lie, which was now the old house where the other two branches of the Kiao family lived. The second and third branches had long been waiting at the gate to welcome them, with smiles on their faces and not daring to act reckless lie. The wife of the third branch was a discerning person. She immediately stepped forward to help Jinshi and Kiao Wanyan get off the carriage and greeted them with concern. I was worried when I heard the news that Wanyan was injured in the capital. How is it now? Are you better? Kiao Wanyan said lightly, much better. Thank you for your concern. Third aunt, the wife of the third branch, smiled and said, that's good, that's good. Why don't you let Wanyan rest in the room today? Although ancestor worship is important, the ancestors won't blame a child. The wife of the second branch said sarcastically. Third sister-in-law really knows how to love children. This kind of behavior made their second branch look like a piece of wood. Minister Kiao said, Ahavi told Wanyan when I came, just pay a visit and don't need to perform the grand ceremony of 3 bows and 9 kowtows. After all, the injury is not completely healed, so treat it as a special case. Everyone echoed again and welcomed them in. The second branch had 4 children. The eldest son Kiao Kongshan, the second daughter Kiao Chuksui, the third son Kiao Jabai, and the fourth daughter Kiao Chuxia. The third branch had only 2 sons, Kiao Songking and Kiao Sonjian. Kiao Wanyan swept a look and found that Kiao Chizu was at the end of the crowd. According to past years' practice, Kiao Chuksui, as the eldest sister of the Kiao family, always stood at the front, pretending to be very reliable and busy helping the family. But today, for some reason, she was at the end, looking uneasy and uncomfortable. Kiao Wanyan took a few more looks and saw Kiao Chizu covering her mouth with a handkerchief, seeming to be uncomfortable. Kiao Wanyan lightly frowned. It turned out that she was uncomfortable. No wonder she didn't pretend anymore. After a while, Kiao Chizu walked up to the wife of the second branch and whispered, Mother, I'm not feeling well and want to go back to rest. The wife of the second branch frowned and scolded in a low voice, Do you know what day it is today? Why do you have to be sick at this time? Kiao Chizu lowered her eyebrows and looked submissive. But mother, I really can't hold on anymore. The wife of the second branch gave her a white look, looking iron for not becoming steel. If she hadn't been sick recently, it would end. They've been the third branch stern to take the limelight today. She waved her hand to signal her to leave. Kiao Chizu immediately blessed slightly and left quietly, but she didn't go back to her room to rest directly. Instead, she secretly changed into a maid's clothes and left through the back door. She walked a few steps into an alley and entered a shop through the back door. This shop was Kiao Chizu's private property, but it had not been open for business for some time. This was the place where Kiao Chizu met Ho Yu, the son of the owner of Yungjian Yan store. In private, go and invite young Master Ho to come quickly. Don't alert anyone. And come in through the back door. The maid immediately responded when she heard the words. After about half of incense, she brought Ho Yu over and stood outside without entering. As soon as Ho Yu entered, he hugged her and asked softly, Why did you suddenly send someone to find me? Have you thought about it? When Kiao Chuksui heard this, she showed a hesitant look on her face. You Langai, haven't you said yet? Ho Yu's face changed slightly, and he seemed a little anxious. Chuksui, you are now pregnant with my child. If you continue to delay, how will you show your face? Kiao Chuksui lowered her head some time ago. After General Hong Wu returned to the capital, he came to my house to propose marriage. I was then 10. The house at that time and only found out when I went back. That night, I told my mother that I didn't want to marry the youngest son of General Hong Wu, but my mother beat me and lost her temper and scolded me. I didn't know how to mention this matter. For a while, she was dare not say she was unmarried but had a child. If her mother knew, she would definitely scold her to death. So you let go of her. So do you regret having a relationship with me? I thought we were in love, true love. But now you regret it, right? No. Kiao Chuzu immediately grabbed his hand. I don't regret it. I just don't know how to tell my mother. Don't know how to open my mouth. She was a little afraid that her family would know about this matter, but when she dared to do this, it was to force the family to cancel the marriage and let herself marry Yu Lang as she wished. But now that the matter was a foregone conclusion, she didn't dare to speak again. Ho Yu coaxed patient Lai Chuxui. You now have my child. If you continue to delay, what will outsiders say about you? If you tell your family as soon as possible and we get married as soon as possible, outsiders will only praise you for being lucky to have a child so soon. After saying that, he added, I'm all for our future. Otherwise, how could I be willing to let you, an unmarried lady, act like this? Kiao Chuzu was silent for a long time and finally nodded. I'll try again when he go back. Shou Yu smiled. Okay, our future is in your hands. He hugged Kiao Chuxui. You know, I don't take at your beauty or your family background. I just love you deeply. Ahavi Fanta sized about our future many times, and you don't know how much I look forward to that moment. Kiao Chuzu was also guided by his words to start fantasizing about their wedding, the birth of the child, and the love between husband and wife in the future. Suddenly, a breath of hot air came to her ear. Chuxui, I'm not feeling well. Help me. The two came out of the alley one after another. Xiaoying was waiting for the buns that hadn't been out of the pot at a stall not far away. Now she was accompanying the miss to live in the farmhouse with insufficient supplies and no one to order around, so she could only come out to buy them. But unexpected lie, she saw the eldest lady of the second branch, Kiao Chuxui. Not only that, she also saw Ho Yu, the son of the Yun Jianyan store manager who had caused trouble when the miss was distributing porridge last time. The two of them had been spotted by her and the miss by chance last time, and now they were still in contact. Plus, why was the eldest lady of the second branch dressed as a maid? She had just been standing by the roadside retching. Xiaoying seemed to realize something, abandoned the pending buns, and ran back to the farmhouse. After recounting everything she saw to Kiao Yihuan, even Kiao Yihuan was surprised by Kiao Chuzu's boldness. Pregnant before marriage, if this gets out, all Kiao family women will be implicated. Meeting in private is one thing, but having an affair? Xiaoying quickly said, what should we do, miss? This could affect you too. Kiao Yuhuan frowned in thought, then whispered after a long while, prepare tonight. In need to find that Ho Yu. A nanny guarded the farmhouse gate to prevent her from going out, but at night she could climb over the wall. Miss Y, look for Ho Yu. He caused trouble last time and almost hurt you. To resolve this, shift the blame. Late at night, Shou Yu's store was knocked. As a younger family member living with relatives, he answered the door. Who are you? He looked at the figure in a black cloak, face hidden in the night. Never mind who Ikno, what you want and your purpose. Shou Yu was confused. What are you talking about? Who are you? Kiao Yuhuan said coldly. You approached Kiao Chuzu and slept with her to climb the social ladder and gain Kiao family wealth. If this works, her Rai alone would support you for generations. Ho Yu's face paled. Who the hell are you? How do you know this? Ignoring his question, Kiao Yuhuan pressed. Since you've taken such a risk, don't you want a bigger reward? Ho Yu frowned. What do you mean? What's the second branch of the Kiao family? If the direct daughter of the first branch becomes your wife, you will gain not just wealth but lofty status. Shou Yu was stunned. She added, the first branch has no sons. Marrying their direct daughter, Minister Kiao would treat you like his own. Her status is too noble. If she gets pregnant before marriage, she can marry up or even equally marrying down. She dehues you. Minister Kiao might be angry. But killing you would condemn his daughter to a life of celibacy. He would end ere show you was tempted. One risk or two. Why not aim higher? But who was this woman? What if the second branch knew about Chu Zhu and was setting a trap? He tried to yank off her cloak, but Qiao Yihuan stepped back. Do you think I came alone? Touch me or see my face, and you won't live through the night. Her calmness intimidated him. He withdrew his hand. True, how would alone woman dare come here at night? But the first branch's direct daughter is too exalted. I have no chance to meet her, let alone get close. Qiao Yuhuan said, isn't there Qiao Chuxui? She loves you enough to do anything. A woman who lose her virginity before marriage was foolish and impulsive, trapped in Ho Yu's web. As long as he had the means, Chuxui could be his tool. She wanted to see if Qiao Wanyan got pregnant before marriage. How could she marry into the Eastern Palace? Would His Highness still protect her? Qiao Yihuan turned to leave. All she did was to make His Highness change his mind. Trapped in the abyss, only he could save her. She just wanted to go back to the way things were. A maid stepped into Yangning Pavilion with steady strides, carrying a tray on which rested several new hair pins and ornaments from Yunjian Yan store. Miss, these are the new step-shaking hairpins from Yunjian Yan store. The manager said they were new arrivals, specially gifted to valued customers of the shop. Qiao Wanyan sat with her hands resting, fingertips wrapped in flower petals as she dyed her nails with impatience. She looked up at the mention, intrigued by a pair of pearl earrings among the items. Xiuan noticed too, and before Qiao Wanyan could speak, she walked over, picked up the pearl earrings, and presented them. Miss, these pearl earrings are exquisite fine craftsmanship. The luster and size of the pearls are top-notch. They'd pair perfectly with that sheer gauzy dress from Yongju the other day. Qiao Wanyan nodded. Put them away. Divide the rest among yourselves. She paused, but I didn't shop at Yunjian Yan store much. Why am I a valued customer? A maid replied. Miss Yu Rei, Annabelle, lady of the capital. Who does end to know your name? Yunjian Yan store must want to curry favor, hoping you'll visit more. Even your spare change would make them grateful. The miss was a regular at Hebao Pavilion, spending enough there each year to support a common family for Alafi time. Which silver shop in the capital would want her patronage? Too bad none matched Hebao Pavilion's craftsmanship and variety. Qiao Wanyan smiled, seemingly pleased, her eyes warm. A maid entered from outside. Miss, the 10th princess is here. Soon after, He Baozhu hurried in. Wanyan, I brought you a good thing. Like showing off a treasure, she took the small box from Weimo behind her and took out a palm-sized blue and white porcelain vessel. Inside, a candle wick stood upright in what looked like solidified wax. What's this? Qiao Wanyan asked, puzzled. What was so special about a candle in porcelain? He Baozhu lit the wick without a word, sitting quietly as it burned. When the flame reached the wax, a faint osmanthus fragrance filled the air. Qiao Wanyan blinked, interested, seeing her big eyes fixed on the fragrance. He Baozhu felt satisfied. She knew her little treasure would love it, worth the sleepless nights and forgotten meals spent researching. Qiao Wanyan leaned in and took a deep breath, surrounded by the sweet scent. Why does this candle smell like osmanthus? He Baozhu grinned, foolishly admiring Qiao Wanyan's curious, spirited face. Up close, her beauty was like a perfect sculpture. Ahmad, osmanthus essential oil, and added it to the candle. This is my first product to sell. What do you think? Nice. If this sells, it'll make as much as soap. Qiao Wanyan nodded. Glad you like it. I also made rose and jasmine scents. I'll send some over. You Rei the first in the capital to try them. You're the best Baozhu. Qiao Wanyan smiled sweetly. He Baozhu's only thought. I'd give my life for her. What's it called? I haven't named it yet. Want to choose? Qiao Wanyan thought. The fragrance is subtle when lit, adding beauty to an ordinary room. How about fragrance diffuser? He Baoshu paused then nodded. Perfect. Fragrance diffuser it is. How's your injury, Wanyan? Much better. Yun Hang's medicine. Worked scars are almost gone. Good thing you know divine Dr. Yun. Heard he might return to Pharmacist Valley? It'd be reassuring if he stayed. Kia Wanyan sighed. I don't mind. But having him here invites visitors. Father has to fend off officials above and below his rank. It's a hassle. Plus, the Emperor summons him often. I know he dislikes the palace, but as a Deu subject, he can't refuse in the capital. Staying would drag the Kiao family down. Returning is best. He avoids doing what he hates. And father saves energy on courtesies. Heard you two are close, so you can meet anytime. He Baoshu comforted her. Greetings, princess. Guo Liching entered with a plate of osmanthus cakes. Why are you here? Since returning she visits daily. Kia Wanyan said. Comes early, leaves late, very attentive. Guo Liching smiled, placing the cakes on the table. Second miss. I have nothing to do at home. Being here cheers me up. Pretty people lift the mood. Kia Wanyan smiled, with dyed nails. She lets Yuan feed her a cake. He Baoshu pouted. Pretty people lift the mood, hey fake. Guo Liching sat. The palace. Exam is day after tomorrow. Results in 3 days. My brother took the metropolitan exam. Axu Shujian is said to be brilliant like Lai top scholar. Kia Wanyan didn't respond. Even father praised Su Shujian, but he ended up third place scholar. Not that it mattered. She wondered if the crown prince saw his stationery during the exam. If so, she'd love to see his reaction. First expressing affection, then learning she gifted a handsome scholar. She enjoyed making others restless. People take you for granted once they think you. Ray there's its human nature, even for the crown prince. Like those rice paper flowers she once adored, then discarded. Days later, in the imperial study, after being processed by exam officials, top candidates' papers reached the exam reviewers, who presented the top 3 to the emperor. With hundreds of second and third class scholars, he only reviewed the first 3. The crown prince and minister of rights stayed silent. The minister, assisting the prince, knew who was most talented but saw the prince like for Zhu Shujian during the 3rd session. Praising Zhu Shujian now would risk the prince's wrath. Better to stay neutral. The Imperial College Chancellor, unaware of the prince's attitude, highly recommended Zhu Shujian. Your Majesty, Zhu Shujian is young but shows incredible potential. Innovative yet practical, solid knowledge. Quick thinking. He deserve you and Deu well. His praise made his fondness obvious. The emperor studied Zhu Shujian's paper, resume and portrait. He made the obvious choice. Though young, Zhu Shujian lacks recklessness. His answers are novel yet steady, impressive. All took this as the emperor spick until he said, Zhu Shujian is handsome and gifted, but I appoint him third-class scholar. Shock followed. Even the crown prince expected Zhu Shujian to be first. Why third? Not for looks. The emperor was Enchalo. Zhu Shujian was Minister Kiao's disciple. The emperor suppressed noble families, and Kiao, a top minister, needed no rising protege. As third-class scholar, Zhu Shujian's career would stall. Just as master predicted, Zhu Shujian is third-class scholar. Steward Chen told Minister Kiao. The minister sipped tea. Many know he's my disciple. The emperor won tea. Promote him. As third-class scholar, he can't advance. Courtiers are cunning. They'll avoid supporting him, Chen said. Perfect, thought the minister. As Amanor capital official, Zhu Shujian would fly under the radar, never linked to the former dynasty bloodline. With the remnant from Xiling arriving soon, who'd expect the real bloodline was in the capital? The emperor's obsession with remnants made this ruse necessary. The Kiao family still faced his suspicion, even without a direct son. Master, second miss invited Zhu Shujian to paint in Yangning Pavilion. The minister frowned. He told Wanyan to keep her distance until things stabilized. He wanted options for her. After he leaves, tell her to dine with us in Ki Yun Hall tonight. Yun Heng spent days making antidotes, healing pills and beauty creams. He endured palace visits for Wanyan, but staying risked implicating the Kiao family. He'd return to Pharmacist Valley, his first desire to stay outside in 20 years. He paused to cook a beauty soup, stopping at Yongning Pavilion's gate. Kiao Wanyan wore a jade white gauzy dress, real as moonlight, holding a peach-printed lantern. She half-closed her eyes, a goddess in the breeze. Her hair fell loose, held by a white jade hairpin. Zhu Shujian stood behind, tucking 2 white camellias behind her ear. Meeting Yun Heng's frown, he smiled. Second Miss Beauty is enhanced by these flowers, flawless. Kiao Wanyan smiled. Though you failed father's expectations as third-class scholar, your studies weren't wasted. Yun Heng didn't follow their banter, but they met at ease. Zhu Shujian remained polite, his scholar's grace impeccable. Kiao Wanyan checked her reflection in a maid's mirror, pleased with her rare simple look. No wonder your paintings are good, your taste is decent. You could thrive as an artisan. He chuckled with second Mrs. support. I'd never worry. She waved the maid away. Enough flattery. Let's paint. Despite her words, she was clearly happy. She was straightforward. Praise made her happy. Insults earned retaliation. Yun Heng placed the soup on a stone table. Watching the scene, he felt uncomfortable, staring at koi in the pond. Dejected, Guo Liqing watched him from the door, unable to look away. After half an hour of painting, Yun Heng served the soup, then pulled it back. Kiao Wanyan raised an eyebrow, sitting tiredly. What's wrong? Sorry, it's cold. Maids thought even cold soup would be refused, but Kiao Wanyan nodded. Be careful next time. Yun Heng felt only guilt for his carelessness. The maids marveled. How did the miss tame this allo of man into such a docile, thoughtful servant? Guo Liqing suggested. Didn't you want a farewell dinner for Master Yun? There's a new restaurant, shall we try it? Good idea. It's almost dinner. Ceylon. Get Yao Yao. Miss Yun Yao went to the 10th princess as she's trying a new magic cube, and 1 TB back till night. Strange, she used to complain. At the princess' name, kids are fickle. As they left, Zhu Shujian declined payment. Painting for you is an honor, taking money would be greedy. Join us for dinner, it's live liar with more people, but it's Master Yun's farewell dinner. I'm intruding? Since when is my invitation an intrusion? Come along. Yun Heng glared at Zhu Shujian as he passed. Zhu Shujian smiled. Master Yun heading back? You're annoying, Yun Heng said. Thank you. Yun Heng frowned. This man was odd. He quickened at his pace to join Kiao Wanyan. Huizhu Lu, the new restaurant, replaced a formerly profitable one sold cheap lie by the previous owner, Ho Yu, son of Yunjian Yan store's manager, who'd fallen out with the 10th princess. With old customers and a new start, business boomed. The restaurant was actually a gift from Kiao Chizu, one of the Kiao family's countless properties, forgotten by the second branch. This way, sirs, for a view? Zealon snapped. Private room? Sorry. Full, but there's a quiet spot in the hall. Zealon tossed a silver ingot. Now? The waiter hesitated. She threw a gold ingot. Let me help. Clear your best room, my miss. We'll pay everyone's bill. Stunned, the waiter realized he'd met real wealth. Guo Liqing was also amazed. She knew the miss was rich, but this was another level. She'd never felt poorer. Money truly divided people. The waiter's hands trembled as he held the gold in. Got? I'll clear the best private room right away. Please wait a moment, esteemed guests. He rushed off like a whirlwind, yelling for staff to evacuate the premium room. Patrons in the hall grumbled, but the waiter waved the gold and got. The lady in red will cover everyone's bill plus a bonus. Please move to the hall kindly. Guests whispered in amazement. Who was this wealthy young lady? Kiao Wanyan entered the private room, unimpressed by the commotion. Ziyuan followed, sniffing. "Miss, this place smells like cheap incense." Guo Liqing first asmal. The food might be good. She felt out of place beside Qiao Wanyan, who radiated casual luxury. Yun Heng stood by the window, ignoring Zhu Shujian, who tried to make conversation. "Master Yun, heard you are returning to Pharmacist Valley. Pity your skills are needed here." Yun Heng shot him a cold look. "My business." Qiao Wanyan interrupted. "Enough chatter. Order the best dishes." She scanned the menu, pointing to several. "These, and a pot of aged flower tea." As the waiter scurried off, Guo Liqing noticed Zhu Shujian staring at Qiao Wanyan. His gaze was too bold for a scholar. Was he infatuated? She recalled Qiao Yihuan's swords about Zhu Shujian, coveting the Qiao family's wealth. Is he using the mist to climb higher? The meal arrived, delicacies like braised shark, fin and bird's nest. Qiao Wanyan ate daintily, while Yun Heng silently served her soup. Zhu Shujian tried to flatter, but she barely responded. Suddenly, shouting came from downstairs. "Ho you thief, stealing my family's restaurant." Qiao Wanyan frowned. Ziyuan peeked out. "Miss, it's Qiao Chuxui. She's yelling at the manager, Ho you." Everyone went to the window. Qiao Chuzu stood in the street, disheveled, pointing at Ho you. "You promised to marry me, but you took my restaurant and ignored me. I'm carrying your child, you scoundrel." Gasps led through the crowd. Ho Yu Pa led, yelling nonsense. "Get out." Qiao Chuxui collapsed, sobbing. "I gave you everything, my body, my property, and now you discard me?" Guo Liqing whispered. "This is disastrous for the Qiao family." Qiao Wanyan says coldened, so Qiao Chuzu fell. For Ho Yu strick. Interesting timing. Did someone set this up? She noticed Zhu Shujian's subtle smile. Is he involved? Yun Heng touched her arm. "Don't worry about this." She smiled. "I'm not. This farce is entertaining." Just then Imperial Guards arrived, led by Jing Yuan. "Arrest Ho Yu for fraud and disrupting the peace." They ignored Qiao Chuxui, who wailed, "My child, my reputation." Jing Yuan bowed to the window. "Your Highness." Orders Ho Yu Sarist. "Apologies for the disturbance." "Second miss." Qiao Wanyan waved him off. The crown prince acted fast. Did he know about this? As they left, Zhu Shujian said, "What a shame for Miss Chuxui." Qiao Wanyan replied coldly, "Foolish choices lead to folly." She glanced at him. His calmness confirmed her suspicion. He played a role here. Why? Back at the mansion, Qiao Minister Qiao awaited in Qiyun Hall. Seeing Zhu Shujian with Wanyan, he frowned but said nothing. During dinner, he mentioned, the emperor assigned Zhu Shujian to the Hanlin Academy, a minor post, but suitable for a third-class scholar. Qiao Wanyan noticed her father's tension. He knows Zhu Shujian's agenda. Why keep him close? After dinner, Yun Heng prepared to leave. "Take care of yourself. I'll send new medicine monthly." She hugged him. "Stay safe. Visit when you can." Watching him go, she felt a rare pang. Will I miss him? That night, Qiao Yihuan received news of Qiao Chuzu's disgrace. She laughed wildly. Perfect. Now Qiao Wanyan's family is disgraced next. I'll ruin her reputation too. In the imperial study, the crown prince reviewed Ho Yu's case. So Qiao Chuzu was played. Interesting. Who tipped us off? Jing Yuan replied. An anonymous letter mentioned Ho Yu's fraud. Also, a witness saw Zhu Shujian meeting Ho Yu days ago. The prince smiled coldly. Zhu Shujian, what Sayur game? And Qiao Wanyan, are you involved? The capital's web of intrigue thickened, with each move shaping the fate of dynasties.